It's time for Around the Ozarks in 5, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Hey, good morning and happy Friday to you. We made it to Friday, which is always nice. There's so much promise in the weekend, isn't there? So much promise.
Yes. There's also promise, just for the record, in the weekday where you're working for the weekend, you know?
You mean
the
like
weekend
today?
wouldn't be, well, the weekend would not be as luxurious if you didn't work during the work week.
Oh, well,
because all your days would run together. You wouldn't even know that it was a weekend. You'd just be like, oh, it's just any other day.
But I do work during the days.
Exactly.
During the week.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
It makes the weekend nicer. That's true.
All right. We will begin with some news. We now know that the man accused of forcing his way onto the Springfield public school bus the other day was a sex offender. The 25-year-old man pried open the bus doors and entered the bus while students were on board. They were from Pershing. The bus driver confronted the man while the students escaped out the back door. So good for the student for opening the door and getting everybody off. The man then entered a nearby house and holed up inside for 7 hours in a standoff with police. He was eventually arrested and is now in the Greene County Jail. Students were not physically hurt, although a bit disturbed, understandably. The bus driver was back on duty the next day because she wanted students to know that she was okay and she was trying to help them feel back to normal.
Yeah, I know they haven't said who she is, but man, she needs to be celebrated because what she confronted the man in a way that caused the focus to remain on her so that the kids could get out the back. And credit the kids and the training that they've had, that they recognized that this is something's wrong. We need to this is a dangerous situation. We need to get out of here. And then, one of the kids said, we're going out the back, or maybe all of them did. I don't know. But everybody went out the back and was able to escape. So, other than him getting on the bus, it worked as well as it could, I think.
Yeah. So can I give you like my 30-second soapbox real quick? The reason that I love even more the student that opened the back door and got off the bus out the back is because a friend of mine from Oklahoma was in a Target store in Oklahoma. This is probably like a year ago, and an intruder came into the Target with a gun, and she was the only one willing to go out the back door of the Target. So she ran to the back. And there were a lot of people who did the same, ran to the back. And one of the employees was like, oh, like, no, we can't go out this door. And she's like, unlock the door. Like, unlock the door. I'm going out. There's a guy in the front of a store with a gun. And it's like they were unwilling because they had been trained to not go out that door. And she was like, you guys are idiots. Get out of the way. I'm going out the door. And she ended up, her and like 2 other people. But there was a huge group, and it was like the psychology of it was so strange to me that they were unwilling to walk out. So she had to like take initiative and do it. And so I just think for the kid on the bus, he's probably thinking like, oh man, we're not supposed to open this door because it's a rule that we can't open the door while while we're on the bus or whatever. But he did it. I mean, again, like you said, like they recognized that it was an emergency.
Well,
but it's weird how psychology like plays into that sometimes, and people aren't willing to do the right thing because they're like, oh, wait a second, but that's against the rule or whatever.
But I think what goes through their mind is that, well, what if I'm overreacting and this sets off an alarm and the police come and then there's really nothing. It's a toy gun. It's not anything to be worried about. And for a student, you could also think, I'm not allowed to open this door. What if I open it and then it's just the bus driver messing around, joking with this friend? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I get in trouble for it. So I think there is a weird psychology that's involved. Surely other people at this store followed your friend out, right? Because
there were only 2, and one of them she was helping. It was an old lady. And then there was like one other person, and everybody else stayed in. And by the way, You can look it up. I mean, it was covered, in the news there about a year ago, I think it was, or maybe 18 months ago. But the guy didn't shoot anybody, but he came in and he was like holding the gun out like this, and he was dressed really strange. Anyway, so I mean, it was like
we had that at a store here.
We did. We sure did. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was like that was crazy. That was like, well, I was just showing that I can conceal and carry, or that I can carry unconcealed or something. Well, you're an idiot, but okay. I mean, yes, but the point is that people felt threatened. So then he was obviously in big trouble. But
you're throwing the idiot word around quite a bit today. So
am I? I'm sorry.
We should tone it down.
Tone it down. I'm going to rein it in. But I mean, seriously though, it is,
okay.
That. Sorry. You're right. Okay. My apologies. Moving on. Missouri's Attorney General wants the Supreme Court to set an execution date for convicted killer Christopher Collings. Collings has been in prison since being convicted in the murder of 9-year-old Rowan Ford in 2007 and was sentenced to death.
That was a story we covered. It was it was a heartbreaking story. We covered that, and I know you got to be close with Rowan's family during that time, especially her mom.
Yes.
During the search for her, we were at KY3 at the time. We would be entire newscasts were live down there in which county?
Neosho, Newton County.
And then it was a heartbreaking end. You followed the court case all the way through, and that was one of the times that people still watch. I think that video still exists when you got emotional on the air talking about Rowan. I think at following her funeral. Yes. So that was a tough one for us. Rowan Ford is a name that we remember.
Yes,
and Haley Owens is another one.
Yep. Yes, Rowan. Man, that was brutal. I covered the court case, which if you've never been on a jury, and I've never actually been on a jury, but I've been in a million courtroom cases, you don't recognize how much information the jury has and how many pictures and how many like police reports and eyewitness accounts and all sorts of things that they go through. If nothing else, you can rest assured that our justice system is the best in the world, though not perfect. It is the best in the world. And just sitting through the case and watching and seeing all of the evidence is something I'll never forget for sure.
Mm-hmm. He's been in jail a long time. So interesting that the Attorney General is now saying it's time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was really, really, really horrific. So I don't foresee any, sometimes when the date gets set, yes, there's like,
No. All right. We're going to get to the little more on the election Tuesday because something crazy happened in Fair Grove. There was a ballot mix-up. Some voters received wrong ballots, so they voted with the wrong ballot. And it was a fairly tight race for the Board of Aldermen there in Fair Grove. Apparently what happened is boundary lines were adjusted in 2021 as following the 2020 census. Some streets were therefore and the election in the wrong ward. So they got the wrong ballot. Greene County Clerk says he believes there were 5 ballots that were issued incorrectly. So not a ton, but 5. There was a bigger spread between the 2 candidates than 5. So therefore, according to preliminary results, the mix-up should not affect the outcome, could not change the outcome, although it is still a bit of a problem. But you feel better knowing that, okay, can't change anything.
Yeah. And it hasn't been certified yet. So you got to certify results, before you move forward with them. And so they are like recounting and going through everything again.
Just checking all the ballots.
I mean, I think it's called an audit, actually. I don't know if it's called an audit. I'm pretty sure that it's the audit of the system. But all that to say, it's not yet certified because they've got to make sure that it was only 5, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And then there's this up in Kansas City. The election may have consequences. I don't know. Kansas hopes so. The state of Kansas now trying to lure the Chiefs to their state over the state line. that would be something. The way Kansas lawmakers there describe it is that Jackson County voters fumbled the ball on Tuesday by voting down a tax extension that would have helped pay for new stadiums for 2 professional sports teams, upgrades to the Arrowhead, and then a new stadium for the Royals. And lawmakers in Kansas say the state has saved up millions of dollars from what is legalized sports betting there. Another shot at Missouri. Missouri does not have legalized sports betting. And they say that they've saved that money to use for such a time as this to try to lure the Chiefs, maybe even the Royals too, over to the Kansas side of the border. So I don't know. Money talks. So we'll see what happens.
So they have $4.1 million in the fund that is to be used to try to lure teams or other professional sports or organizations.
4.1
4.1
million with an M?
Yes.
Oh, that's nothing.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
The current contract goes through 2031.
Yeah.
So by that time, they are thinking it's going to have multi-million dollars in that account. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because sports betting is fairly new. And so at this point, they have 4.1. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know that the Chiefs have said that they're willing to look at it.
It's just, I don't know. Really, it makes me no difference, right? Like, I'm going to root on the Chiefs, whether they're on the Kansas side or the Missouri side makes me no difference.
No,
but it makes the
money.
State a huge difference. Yeah,
it's all about money. And I mean, honestly, I don't know. We've conditioned these sports teams to expect taxpayer money on top of what they're already charging us, which is outrageous to go to games. Parking, everything. So we've conditioned them to expect taxpayer money, and then if they don't get it, they can pull the team up and leave. It's I don't know. It's not a great situation.
Yeah. Okay. Now to this. This is how you know your car is not secure at all. It is when your car maker gives out free steering wheel locks like candy to your local police department, and that is happening at SPD. Yes, Springfield police officers will give you owners of Kias and Hyundais free steering wheel locks because those cars keep getting stolen. So you do have to present proof of ownership.
That's it. They'll give you a free one.
That's terrible. I mean,
I believe Kia and Hyundai are giving these out, right? Not the police.
Kia and Hyundai are giving them to police.
To the police, to give to
police are giving them out.
Right.
That's how you know.
Well, in a lot of cities.
Now I know that my car is not secure.
In a lot of cities, those are the 2 most stolen cars because apparently it's easier. I don't know.
Yes, right. Well, and I mean, for Springfield, we have a decent amount of vehicle thefts, but there was like an uptick in these makes and models. I guess they're models, but not makes. Anyway, so there you go. Okay, this is a fun little story from Branson. Congratulations to the Branson Lakes Area Chamber of Commerce and Convention and Visitors Bureau. That is quite a mouthful of a title. They have earned the highest accreditation score possible from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. So how did they win it? After an audit showed that the group has a big positive impact on the business community. Less than 150 of 7,000 chambers win this highest award. So this is really cool. And another one in our area is Joplin. Joplin's chamber also won the highest marks.
Congratulations. That's nice. Good for them.
Go Branson and Joplin. Woohoo.
Speaking of Branson, the group Elevate Branson, which is a nonprofit down in that area to help fight poverty, has plans to build 48 tiny homes in that area, put them all in one little community, one tiny little cute community. It'd be located at 310 Gretna Road. Everybody knows Gretna Road. Bids are out right now to contractors to see who will do it for the best price. So we'll find out soon. Work could start at the end of this month, and they expect that community of tiny homes to take about 6 months to build. So, we've heard about a problem with affordable housing in that area. So this would, I guess, be a help to that. And then in Springfield, Cox Health needs diapers to hand out to mothers in need. The annual diaper drive happening now through the end of this month. Nearly 50% of families, we're told, cannot afford diapers for babies. Wow. You are asked to donate disposable and or cloth diapers of any size or brand. They'll take everything because they could use it. Eventually, the kid's going to go through all the sizes. The diaper bank also accepts open packages, too. So they'll make sure that they're sterilized and good to go. But you can drop them off at the diaper bank, Cox Health.
Yep. Diapers are pricey. Get ready for Monday. It is the total solar eclipse. Just head east and you can be in the path of totality. Here in Springfield, 97% of the sun will be covered up. The moon will pass between the sun and earth, plunging parts of North America into darkness right in the middle of the day, right around 2:00 in the afternoon. Missouri State University is going to be holding a free viewing event. It's from 1 to 2:30 at Plaster Stadium. If you'd like to go and sit with your fellow community and friends, free viewing glasses are also going to be handed out to the first 1,000 attendees.
That's what I need. I need glasses. I don't have any glasses. Do you have any? I think I might have some in my Jeep from however many years ago.
Okay. Well, you keep talking and I'm going to find a press release that someone sent to my personal email address. Keep going.
I think I'm going to go with 97% totality or visibility. Blackout.
Yeah, me too, because I don't really want to be driving because of the traffic. It's going to be crazy traffic.
Well, it's going to be, it's just, for me, it's a long drive for 3 minutes.
Yes. Springfield optometry clinics offer free solar eclipse glasses to support optometry giving sight. This was sent to me by the Vision Clinic. Kim Chris, the director of operations at the Vision Clinic, sent that. So that's really cool.
The Vision Clinic is offering before you're telling everybody about it.
You know what? Okay, I stand corrected. It's a $1 donation.
Okay.
Vision Clinic will also match every dollar donated for the solar eclipse glasses, doubling the impact of each contribution because they help they help the community with people who need vision work or glasses or whatever. So this is kind of a fundraiser of sorts for them. So
where is that again?
The Vision Clinic.
Can you go do that tomorrow? Can you go get us some? We don't need 1 million, but we just need maybe 3.
Yes. Okay. So one of their locations is 3440 South National Avenue. So to answer your question, yes. But everybody else needs to know 3440 South National Avenue. Go buy some of those glasses for $1, and it's going to be a good cause because you are helping people who need help otherwise with their eyes.
Well, I guess you can get 5. I'm not saying it for a dollar amount problem. I'm saying it that I don't want to take up all the glasses. I want other people to get glasses too.
Right. Yes, I get it.
So get what if they have a ton, if they have 1 million, then get 5. If not, just get a couple.
Okay.
We'll share. But that's cool. Good for them. And make sure you beat the crowd of people watching Around the Ozarks to get those glasses.
You know what? I might get some for my dogs. What if my dogs look up?
It's nature. They know better.
Okay.
We're the ones who don't.
I figured that they had like this innate
we have to burn our retinas.
That's a bad idea.
We recognize. Bluebell ice cream. We told you about this a while back, but we have an update because I tasted the ice cream. But Bluebell is now selling ice cream in the St. Louis area. It just opened a brand new distribution center in St. Peters, right outside St. Louis. So now I told my brother and my family in St. Louis that they have to get Bluebell and try it. My favorite is homemade vanilla. It's fantastic. But we also got the gooey butter cake ice cream. That's a nod to the new distribution center in St. Louis and opening up that market because gooey butter cake is a St. Louis staple. And I'm a fan. It's not quite as good as I remember the Wally's gooey butter cake ice cream. at the Wally's convenience store up there, which
Yes.
just in Fenton, which is kind of like a Buc-ee's, but better. But I do like the gooey butter cake ice cream by Bluebell. So, in fact, my boy had some last night.
Yes, I believe that. I believe that he did.
Ice cream every night.
Okay, finally, Silver Dollar City is giving away. Sorry, I needed to sneeze there for a second. Silver Dollar City is giving away $64,000 in tickets to celebrate their 64 years. That's amazing. The free tickets will go to those who impact their communities through volunteer work and make their community a better place. So if you know an awesome volunteer who works in your community, you can go on to Silver Dollar City's website and nominate them for what's called Heroes of Today. And if they win, they will get some free tickets to SDC.
I love that. What a great idea.
It is a great idea.
Yeah. And no doubt there are lots of people worthy of winning those tickets.
Yep. I agree. Yep, that's it. Okay, don't forget to check out aroundtheozarks.com. We also have an app, a free app called Around the Ozarks, and you can see the community calendar among many other things, Wake Up Weather with IB Dyer, the sports podcast, the fun and funny podcast, and then the news podcast. So check it out and go look at the weekend events because there are many to be had.
Yeah, there are. It's a great resource. We check it out all the time. In fact, we earlier in the week, we told you about a lot of the events happening this weekend. We got those from the Around the Ozarks calendar. So check it out and have yourself a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. And we will hope to see you Monday morning before the big eclipse happening.
Yeah. And then who knows what?
And then who knows what may happen. All right, bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Friday. It is April 5th, and we are waking up with widespread frost in the Ozarks. It is a cold start to the day with temperatures below the freezing point. So if you're listening before you head outdoors, well, just keep in mind, you might need to plan a couple of extra minutes. Scrape the windshield this morning. There is some frost around in the Ozarks, and we have a frost advisory out. That's going to last until 8 o'clock in the morning. So a few more hours to go there. I hope you had a chance to cover up the sensitive vegetation if you had it out already for the season, because we are already seeing temperatures that are well below the freezing point this morning. Upper 20s, low 30s area wide, but it won't stay that cold for long. It's a frosty start to the day, definitely, but temperatures warm up pretty quickly, and the winds remain out of the north today, but I think they're fairly light, so we are looking at much better conditions. I've got mid-40s by the time mid-morning is here. We're heading to the mid-60s for highs today. So widespread frost, I think before 9 o'clock in the morning, and then it's a thing of the past from here on out. We have frost advisories for most of the Ozarks, as I mentioned, until 8 a.m. Actually, freeze warnings back in central Missouri and up closer to the St. Louis area. Temperatures there this morning, I've been looking at some of the gauges, and numbers are in the upper 20s in a lot of spots. So definitely a cold start to the day. Not too unusual for early April, but now that the growing season has begun, we always have to give those watches and advisories to let people know to cover up the sensitive plants. Mid-60s are in the forecast today, though, and it's going to end up being a beautiful afternoon. The winds will remain light today. I told you they'd stay out of the north, but they'll be light, and with the sunshine, temperatures in the mid-60s, I think it will be a very pleasant day to get out and about. Really a great day to end the work week and the nicest day of the week so far. The weather map shows a big blue H right over the center of the country, and that means high pressure is in control of our weather pattern. Not a lot in the way of cloud cover today. Winds will remain light for us. Really, all the action is out on either coast. We have a lot of activity over the Rockies with a very powerful low pressure system there. Also a low pressure system moving up into New England. That's going to wrap up the heavy snowfall event that's been ongoing and allow for just some unsettled weather for the East Coast. Near 70 degrees in the Ozarks, both Saturday and Sunday. So the weekend preview, temperature-wise, is looking pretty nice. I must tell you, though, that with that warm-up comes a strong wind again. And I think it looks pretty breezy around here, both Saturday and Sunday. Winds could gust in excess of 30 miles an hour. So while the temps will be warmer, it will be a bit breezy if you're trying to get any of those outdoor activities in this weekend. Temps nice, but the trade-off is the wind as we head into the weekend forecast. We also have some shower chances that are possible this weekend, but don't take that to mean that the weekend is a washout. It's not. The best chance for rain actually comes very late. I think after sunset on Saturday through dawn on Sunday morning. So it'll rain while we're sleeping. Only if you're camping or something do you need to be concerned about the shower chance, because really, I think for most of us, we won't even notice. We'll have partial sunshine back in the forecast both Saturday and Sunday. Those rain chances existing late Saturday night into early Sunday. And then I have shower chances that return for you as we head into the early part of next week. 65 degrees for the high temperature today in Springfield. On Saturday, I'm going 70. On Sunday, I think 72 degrees is a pretty good bet. There will be a few places, both Saturday and Sunday, that end up making it to the mid-70s. And I expect that we'll hold on to that rain chance late evening and overnight hours, Saturday night through early Sunday. So it shouldn't get in the way too much of the weekend plans. I think you can still get out, mow the grass. It's growing like crazy after the rainfall event that we had earlier this week. And now we are talking about much more spring-like temperatures in this weekend forecast. Around the country, it's not been very spring-like, especially up in the northern tier of the country and the northeastern portion of the United States either. I mentioned that heavy snow over New England. It's wrapping up with the heavy snowfall, but still high wind, rainfall in the Ozarks as we head into the weekend forecast. We have just a shower chance. The heavy rain is staying out on the East Coast. Also, high winds are likely for the central Great Basin and the Four Corners region. That's going to lead to some critical fire weather conditions for the central and southern high plains. That will be in place all over the weekend. So you might hear about those things in the national weather headlines. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister trivia question for the day. This one's kind of fun. Have you heard of these toys? I know I have. What toy introduced in the 1950s drew criticism for being potentially dangerous? Do you think it was A, super elastic bubble plastic, B, creepy crawlers, C, Gilbert Atomic Energy Lab Kit, or D, the Austin Magic Pistol? Well, all of these have an element of danger. Maybe not the creepy crawlies, but an element of danger to all of them, digesting plastic bubbles, magic pistols, and all of that. But you might have guessed this one. This is the one item that I had not heard of as a toy, but it did exist. Released in 1950. The answer is C, the Gilbert Atomic Energy Lab Kit. That's right. It was a toy lab set designed to allow children to create and watch nuclear and chemical reactions using real radioactive material. What? This really happened, guys. The Atomic Energy Lab was released by the A.C. Gilbert Company in 1950, and people thought it was cool at first, but the sales were not very good. Number one, because the price was $49.50, which back then was a lot of money, a very expensive toy. And then once it was on the market, it drew all of this criticism and it had to be banned because it actually contained small amounts of radioactive particles and a bit of uranium ore. It failed to sell very well because of the price, but then people were hearing that it was actually toxic and dangerous. So they pulled it, and it made the top 10 most dangerous toys ever. It's number 2 on the top 10 most dangerous toys ever because of the radioactive material. If you're curious about the number 1 toy on that list, it was lawn darts. I have heard of these. In fact, I vaguely remember my dad telling me that he had lawn darts, like the real ones with the spikes. I know they sell a version now that are plastic or have rubber tips on them, but they used to be just like big metal spikes that you were encouraged to throw across the yard and play darts and stick those things right in the grass. Lawn darts took number 1. The Gilbert Atomic Energy Lab Kit took the number 2 spot. So if you guessed C, that is the correct answer for the Brain Twister trivia question today. Here's the question that I'll leave you with today and have the answer for you on Monday morning. What's your ostrich knowledge? Which statement about ostriches is not true? Do you think it is A, they can run faster than horses? B, male ostriches roar like lions? C, ostriches have 3 stomachs? Or D, ostriches hate other animals and will not interact? Which of those 4 statements is not true? Think about it. I'll let you know the answer. That happens first thing on Monday morning. By the way, you can head on over to the website to enter our Brain Twister trivia question. Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather and your radio home for the St. Louis Cardinals are giving away this week's prize. 105.1 The Bull has your chance to win a pair of tickets to a St. Louis Cardinals game Saturday, May 4th. 2024. You just got to get a correct answer on the Brain Twister trivia question, and you could be a winner for a pair of tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals game on May 4th. Head on over to the website, check it out there. Thank you so much for listening, and a big shout out to our sponsors. Thank you, Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing, keeping everybody fueled and moving out there around the Ozarks as we head into the weekend. Hope you have a great one. Enjoy the mild temperatures, and I expect that we'll see more rain chances as we begin next week. So I'll chat with you then on Monday morning.